We started our day by meeting some new friends, hitting the road. We even saw a wild horse on the way up. This was going to be a great opportunity to meet some new friends, explore some unknown trails, and get to know an area that was new to us as we had recently moved to the province from BC. It had been raining a lot and we didn't realize how muddy things were going to be. We quickly found this out as soon as we got to the first muddy bit of the track as we entered in from the Waiparous staging area. We had 3 vehicles in the convoy in front of us. First up is Dorian in his extremely capable Tacoma. Next up was Greg and is ready for anything Frontier Pro 4X. And third in front of us is Ryan in his Lexus, aka Land Cruiser, proving that luxury does have a place off-road. It was only a matter of a few minutes until we found our first challenge. This challenge left 2 of our vehicles needing to be recovered. The Tacoma and the Frontier made it through this one without any difficulty, but must have also made it super muddy for the heavy Lexus, which got immediately bogged down in this one. The only way we were able to get this one out was by taking 2 vehicles with snatch straps, and with a bit of tugging managed to get them out. Next was the real challenge of getting us through.
Almost out.
We were up next and we figured we would try a different line slightly to the right, which immediately got us stuck in about 2 feet of clay up against the front diff and axle. We got the shovels out and started digging, and thanks to Greg for bringing all this recovery gear, otherwise we would have been really stranded. We dug for about 90 minutes and didn't have any luck. We even tried sitting in the back of the Jeep to put some weight on it to try to get us some traction, but nothing was helping. It was just our luck that at that time a Jeep showed up behind us, managed to anchor itself to a tree and winch us out. Woohoo! On to the next challenge. We built up the track with a few logs, made another go at it, and managed to drive through without any problem. This is the section we built up, and without that, there's no way we would have gotten through that day. The next obstacle we had wasn't super challenging, but it did present potential to damage some of the vehicles, so we ended up getting the shovel to dig a little bit of the rut out to get past it. Although we did end up
Yeah, 'cause it just slides right into it, and then you
don't really have a choice but to just go for it.
Let's fast forward up this slope just a little bit until we see right about here we get to this super sketchy off-camber spot. Man, that looks scary what you were doing there, Ryan, but good job in getting past that. Nice work. After having to deal with that rearwards recovery of my Jeep, we realized that it wasn't the best idea for me to be in the rear of the convoy with no front recovery points. So Greg followed as we made it up this last hill, and wow, what a rewarding view at the top. For the next few ups and downs, this is the view we had to look forward to every single time, and it's just majestic. Dorian in the Tacoma managed to make it up there with a little bit of pedal to the metal. He got over that slope without any issue. Next up was the Lexus. The Lexus seemed to make it up through the rust no problem with plenty of ground clearance, but got stuck on the hump and just didn't have enough grip to make it through that slippery mud. Next, I was up, and I was a little bit nervous because I didn't have as much ground clearance, and it was getting slippery by the minute as that rain just continued to pour down. I made a couple runs trying to get past it, but my diff just wouldn't quite clear it. We had to bring the shovels out again and do a little bit of trail maintenance. After that, I was able to drive up it no problem past the hump, but then after the hump, again, just lost traction. A quick snatch recovery, and the boys were able to winch me over the hill without any further issue. After that third small obstacle, it was fairly smooth driving for the rest of the way down to the lake, but things were just wet and muddy the rest of the way, as you can imagine. What a great day to be out in nature, though. If being lucky meant getting rained on like crazy, we sure were lucky that day. What a muddy, slippery mess, and even when we got down to the lake, we were ducking from tree to tree trying to dodge the heavy rainfall that was falling. Still, what a beautiful day, and we had a great little break looking at the lake before we continued on our journey. Looking forward to coming back here when it's not so wet and muddy and seeing what all hides underneath all this water. call this next one an obstacle, but it was a little bit technical, and I could see how you could easily get stuck if you weren't careful how you drove through here. There were some logs someone had put down, so that made it fairly easy to drive through. Mother Nature didn't even let up for a second on the way out of there, and it wasn't until we got home that we started to see some rays of sunshine. On this final little drive out, pretty smooth and easy, but the puddles just kept getting deeper, and we could finally see where regular cars were no longer able to access. For a quick debrief to discuss the highlights of our trip, how much fun we had, and then with much excitement aired up our tires and hit the road home, ready to fill our bellies with much needed food and beers. Cheers, guys.